What is going on, everyone? It's Xander Ray here, and today I have my very first video for you guys. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about why I use Ableton over FL Studio. I started in FL Studio. I'm a trap producer, hip hop, Latin. I make all sorts of beats like that. Basically, an urban producer. And I want to talk to you guys about why I chose Ableton over FL Studio. And again, I started on FL Studio. I love FL Studio so much, but 95% of what I do in terms of music is done in Ableton, and I'm going to show you guys why. Hopefully, if you guys are debating on which one you want to use or you want to try out Ableton, this will make it a lot clearer on why you might or maybe you should not. But honestly, I think you guys should try it out because it's my favorite DAW by far. I haven't tried Logic, to be fair, or any of the other DAWs, but as far as I've tried, Ableton is definitely my favorite, and I have a lot of friends that can share that sentiment as well. So let's get started. One of the reasons why I love Ableton, first of all, is because of their drum rack. Okay, I can go over here, click on this, I can double click this drum rack, and I can add it to my MIDI track. Now this pulls up a drum rack on the bottom left. I can then go ahead and search for sounds. Okay, so if I want this kick, I'll throw that in the drum rack. If I want to select multiple kicks, I can select multiple kicks and drag them into the drum rack as so. If I want to drag them without having to drag it there, just, by the way, the drum rack goes for days. As you can see, there's different like pages to the drum rack. So you can have like, I don't know exactly how many, but a lot of freaking drum kicks and basically samples in there. So anyways, you can drag a kick in there. Let's say we want some snares or claps or whatever. Let's grab a few. Let's throw them there. Hi-hats. You can say, oh, I want a few hi-hats. We'll throw that there. I'll scroll up. And then let's say we want some perks, right? So we'll throw that there. Now what I can do is I can go into here, and this is basically like an Excel spreadsheet, right? And each one of these cells is a different, you can think of it as a pattern in FL Studio. It's basically a different pattern. So I can double click this, and this is currently set to 1 bar. So we'll do 1 bar, that's fine. And we'll scroll down, let's say this kick right here. As you can see, you can't hear anything. If you click this little headphone icon here, it'll preview the sound when you put it on the MIDI. So just like that. Now, if you drag this little bar up, this is your velocity, and you can adjust it like that. Currently, I'm in the draw mode, so you can see the pen, but if you press B on your keyboard, you can change to the regular cursor mode, and then you can more finely adjust, or, you know, you can click and drag the actual MIDI velocity. Now, if you want to change what your permanent velocity on your MIDI note is, you just press and hold, and then set it to that. So if I want it to be, let's say, 32 velocity or somewhere around there, 34 as it says at the top, then I'll let go of it there, and now every single one I place will be the same velocity. But obviously for kicks, we're making trap, we want this shit to fucking slap, so let's fucking go all the way up, baby. Let's go. All right, so now we got a kick. Now we can click play on this clip, and it's gonna go through and do that. Now this is obviously way too loud, but we'll just turn it down here. By the way, if you use the arrow keys and you select any parameter that's changeable in Ableton, you could just go up and down and it changes it by a set amount. If you're doing the gain, it'll do it by 1 decibel per arrow click up or down, as you can see. So we'll lower this. We'll bring it down to peak at around 6 dBs or minus 6 dBs, and that's fine. So now we got our kick there, and let's do a clap. So we want to put a clap on a 3. Oh, that's another kick. Sorry. Okay. Not that one, maybe. Let's do that one. There you go. All right. So now I can go up, and let's say I want, you know, I want hi-hats, but I want it to be an 1/8 time, right? So let's do this. Right? Now I can do triplets, and let's say I want 16 triplets, so I'll change it to that. And there you go. There you go. So you see we got a little groove going. And then you can add perks. And then you can just go crazy. Obviously that's offbeat, but we'll pretend like it's not. All right. So very simple. You can do that in Ableton. Now, without having to click around too much or get too confused, it's very obvious what's going on. If you've used an Excel spreadsheet, it's very obvious what's going on. Now what I can do with this is I can hold control and drag this here to copy it. And now I have my other one, right? Now for this one, I can modify it. Maybe I don't want the hats to keep going like that. Maybe I only want the triplets, you know, and I want to take the perk off. And maybe this one has, you know, there you go. We got an extra kick on that one. And now what we can do is we can swap in between them live. And the cool thing about Ableton is that it actually drops the clip at the correct time. So when I click play here, it cues it up and it drops it at the end of the clip. There you go. So that's one of the reasons why I love Ableton just off the bat. So that's one. Now, you can take your drum racks and do whatever with them, but another thing that's amazing that you can do is record. It makes it super simple to record. Fucking Edison, fuck whatever that FL Studio has. It's super simple to record in here. Now, if I want to record this drum rack right now is obviously it's one drum rack. That's the name of this rack here. So I'm going to go to an audio rack and I'm going to select the audio from, and I'm going to select the drum rack. Now I'm going to arm this for recording down here, and I'm going to click record on any one of these, and it'll start recording in that cell. So I'll start recording. And as you can see, it's recording everything that's coming out of there. And as I switch, it actually records that also. So it's recording the different ones as I switch between them. Now, let's say I'm good there. Let's say I only want this to be obviously 4 bars. I can do this. I can create a loop there. I can press W to zoom into the loop. If your W is not working to zoom in, or any hotkeys aren't working, it probably means that you have the computer MIDI keyboard selected up here. So just deselect that on the top right, and that should solve your problem. So as you can see, I now have a sample loop of those kicks. So I can either get rid of this or mute it. As you can see, I muted it there by pressing that box. And we have that there. Now I can chop that up. I can drag this into my arrangement view, which is, you know, if you press tab, that's how you switch between the arrangement view and the clip view. Or a session. I don't know. I'm going to confuse the names, but you'll see what I'm talking about. This is the arrangement view. The clip view is the other one, which that's what I call it. So let's drag this here, right? And currently it's grayed out. That means I'm still on the clip view. I still have the clip view activated, but if I go back over here and I just click this button on the top right, this red one, that fixes that, and that allows me to do whatever in here. So now I'm going to zoom in here, and now what I can do is I can do all sorts of things. So I can grab this, I can double click this, I can lower the volume on this, you know, change the gain. I can say, you know, I kind of want to take this kick out. I can manually take the kick out. You know, it's very versatile. Now, if I want to duplicate this, I can press Control D or Command D on a Mac and duplicate my selection, and it'll duplicate it to the end of the selection. So if I have these 2 bars selected, it's gonna, when I press Control D, it's gonna paste that selection at the end of that selection. So basically here. So if I select this, it'll paste those 2 there, and Control Z to erase that. But so you can arrange, see? So you can arrange your beats like this, however you want. I can set a loop here. As you can see, it's going to keep going. But if I activate my loop, it'll select it, and it'll do that. And now I can work interchangeably between the clip view and the session view. And it doesn't matter. Let's see, I don't want these hi-hats there. Boom. All right, so now I can grab some of my melodies that I've made, and this melody is at a 150 BPM. My session's at a 120 BPM, but that's okay because Ableton is smart enough to recognize the BPM on that sample, and when I drag it in, it's going to be perfectly on beat. Watch. So if I drag this guy in, as you can see, everything's lining up with that. And this is currently at 150, which is the BPM of the sample, so it correctly read that, but my session's at 120. So if I do this and I play this, it's a little bit too loud. Then we can start doing some crazy shit. Now I did Control E there. That's the split, like a sample. So I'm gonna double click this guy, and I'm gonna reverse it, let's say, right? And now it's reversed. Pretty simple stuff, right? So now if I click reverse again, it perfectly reverses it again. Now I'm gonna actually, yes, I'm gonna set this as a loop because I want this to loop. I guess it doesn't matter because I have the sample here. Don't worry about it. But here we can also transpose the clip. So it's super easy to pitch it down, up, left, right, wherever the hell you want to pitch it. So let's go here. Let's transpose this up 12 semitones, which is an entire octave, of course. Now, if I want to add effects to this, I can double click on the rack. By the way, when you change from the clip view to the session or to the arrangement view, basically the racks go sideways essentially. So, you know, if you double click up here, these would be the effects down here on that rack. And if I double click here, these are the same effects on that rack. So I'll double click here. I'm gonna look for an audio effect. We can add an EQ8, let's say, and maybe we wanna get rid of some frequencies, right? So we can change these bands to here. By the way, Ableton's audio effects are amazing, the ones that come stock with it, and you can automate everything super easily. That's another thing that I love about Ableton, which I'm going to talk to you guys about in a second, is the automation. It is so incredibly beautiful, simple, easy. I hate FL Studio's automation, to be completely honest with you, because it creates like a new clip, and then I get confused because you can drag it around. Ableton, it's just there, and you're going to see right now how it is. So anyways, right, we got this guy. Right, so we can add that filter there. Now, if I want to map this guy, so as you can see, if I click the 1, it changes what I'm it changes all the parameters to match what I'm currently selected. So if I click the 4, obviously that's at 800 hertz. If I click on the 1, this is at 225. So let's click on the 4, and let's right click this and do show automation. Now, this is the thing that I love about it. I love a lot of things about Ableton. I cannot speak today apparently, but we'll figure it out. Now, as you can see here, this red line is the automation that we just enabled. Now I'm going to select here and here, let's say, and we'll create an automation where this guy opens up as we move forward, let's say. There you go. So we can do that. Now, if I want to copy this over, I can just select that, Control D, just like I showed you guys. See? Pretty cool. Now, if I want to change the shape of this, I can hold Alt, and this will do like a little, like a more of a bell curve or whatever. And I can change this one down. And let's say I want to copy these two, and I want the second 2 bars to be the same way. So I can do that and easily Control D. And you can see at the bottom, all of my stuff's changing. And there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with this. So you can you can obviously mess with this to the max, right? You can just go crazy. And the same way, you can obviously copy all of this stuff over, So if I do, can just make some crazy melody stuff going on here. Anyways, so you got the point. Automation is lit in here. Automation's lit. You can record stuff. Listen, this is just the surface. This is my first video. It's a little bit disorganized, so I apologize for it. But I hope it kind of showcases just a tiny bit of the things which I love about it. I think I did a good job of showing you guys some of the things that I wish FL Studio could do like way better, and like just these things alone, like the drum rack, especially the automation and the recording, are like 3 things that it's like they both can do the same thing. Like, let's be honest, FL Studio, Ableton, you can do the same thing on both perfectly fine. You will be perfectly fine if you use FL Studio for the rest of your life. But if you really want to get to the most efficient you can be, have your quality of life be the best it can be, I strongly suggest you guys check out Ableton. That's all. You can keep using FL Studio the way I do, but it's just going to make your life so much easier. So Anyways, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. Leave a comment. Any questions you have, I'll address them in a future video or whatever. And don't forget to leave a like. That's greatly appreciated. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my first video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.